Welcome to the RMF USA's inaugural Legacy Pillar virtual event. My name is Sara Shayeb Al-Awad, and as a Lebanese American, it is my honor and pleasure to be a part of this special event launched by the Renee Mawad Foundation USA, a nonprofit organization established in Washington, D.C. in 1993. RMF USA's mission is to foster sustainable social and economic development in Lebanon, establish a strong civil society, and provide emergency relief and humanitarian aid in times of crisis to its most vulnerable and marginalized communities through its implementing partner, RMF Lebanon. Its outreach activities are inspired by inclusiveness, transparency, nonsectarianism, compassion, and a profound commitment to the inherent rights of the people of Lebanon to food, shelter, education, healthcare, work opportunities, equality, and above all, human dignity. It is dedicated to promoting progress in Lebanon in all sectors and has several focus pillars, one of them being the Legacy Pillar. The Legacy Pillar focuses on the achievements of the Lebanese people at home and abroad and highlights their contributions to humanity. Its goal is to contribute to preserving hope in Lebanon not only through the many humanitarian assistance programs implemented on the ground by its Lebanese partner RMF Lebanon, but through an upbeat, uplifting, and inspirational event is this inaugural Legacy Pillar. Our program today will recognize two prominent Lebanese in the U.S. and Canada, and will feature a panel discussion highlighting several of Lebanon's prominent individuals who have contributed globally to humanity. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the recently elected member of the Lebanese Parliament, His Excellency Michel Mawad, who also serves as the Executive Director of the Renee Mawad Foundation in Lebanon, where all of its programs are being nationally executed, to tell us more about the impact of the foundation in changing lives in Lebanon.
Hello everyone. First, a big thank you to RMF USA, to our chairman, Dr. Joe Jabra, to our board, and to this event's chair, Mrs. Mary Rihani, for this great initiative. We all know how much throughout history the Lebanese contributions to the world have been significant, and in all fields. And we also know that without our diaspora today, we would have been in a much, much more disastrous situation. Today, the Lebanese have been impoverished. They have been humiliated. But without you, we would have been starving. So celebrating the contributions of our diaspora, of the citizens of the world from Lebanese descent, is part of our cultural resistance and the way for us to say that the Lebanese people deserve a country that resembles you, not a country that resembles their corruption. For us at RMF Lebanon, the human being is at the core of our mission. In all our programs, our activities, our interventions, we wake up every morning with one objective: supporting, protecting every human being in Lebanon, whatever his geography, whatever his religion or belief, and building his capacity so he is able to live in dignity and succeed in his homeland exactly like he has proven he can all over the world when given a chance. It is for this mission, with this objective, that we have developed our programs at RMF Lebanon that have targeted more than 500,000 beneficiaries in 2021, with the support, of course, of international donors, of NGOs, and of the diaspora networks. We have protected and supported our fellow citizens through social safety net programs, food boxes for the most needy, cash for work for food security, where we got youth planting and distributing in their villages and surroundings and neighborhoods food, hospital rehabilitations, medical equipment, medicine through our mobile dispensaries, psychosocial support for the people that have been traumatized by the last events. But our main goal will continue to be building capacities and improving livelihoods through sustainable development programs, as we believe at RMF that better then giving someone a fish is to teach him how to fish. For this, we have developed educational programs, rehabilitating public schools, alphabetization for working children that we took out on the streets, taught them how to read and write, and brought them back to life. Technical education, vocational training. We have also implemented local community development programs by developing local economies, developing rural or local tourism. We have supported SMEs like we did in the Gemese area around the port, where we have re-equipped all the SMEs in the area. We have also developed value chain programs in agriculture and in other activities, where, for instance, we have helped more than 3,000 farmers export their products to European markets by bringing into their pockets fresh dollars. All of this would have been impossible without you. So again, a big thank you for your support, for your commitment, and through you, a big thank you to our Lebanese diaspora. Finally, I would like to address our RDs, Dr. Mona Namar and Dr. François Nader. No words can describe how proud we are of your achievements and the values you carry. You embody indeed the Lebanon we are striving for, the true Lebanon we carry in our DNA wherever we are in the world. Thank you.
It is now time for our panel discussion that will be moderated by Dr. Lubna Hassaniyi, a prominent published scientist in the field of angiogenesis and its role in cancer growth and metastasis. She is also the producer and moderator of Unheard Stories, a monthly online event that aims to heighten our community experience and spark new conversations about different topics.
Fret not, dear Lebanon. Your legacy spans centuries, digging into the strata of time like the roots of your cedars, absorbing the essence of our ancestors so we can all exist today, conscious of our heritage, experiencing its abundance, and vowing to carry your torch through the years, across continents, and yes, deep into space. Dr. Charles Al-Ashir, former director of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, ensured that your flag was carried along with the American flag to the International Space Station and brought back safely. Fret not, dear Lebanon. Thank you for joining us today. Some of the Lebanese cultural and scientific contributions to Lebanon and to the world will be the topic of discussion with our panel. When a family legacy, such as the Rayhanis, proves to be culturally beautiful and intellectually stimulating, it not only becomes an honor bestowed on future generations, but also a unique asset that enriches their lives and inspires change. Throughout her career, Professor Rayhani sought to promulgate her family legacy. She published 11 books written in both English and Arabic. Her book, Keeping the Promise, is used by global organizations as a framework for advancing girls' education. Now, for 35 years, she traveled to more than 40 countries, living and delivering on that promise. On the subject of gender equality, Professor Rayhani testified on Capitol Hill, contributed to the docudrama Girl Rising that aired on CNN in 2013, and taught courses at different universities in the US. She served as co-chair of the United Nations Girls Education Initiative, as well as director of the Khalil Gibran Chair for Values and Peace at the University of Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Professor May Rayhani.
Thank you, Lubna. I have the noble and enchanting task today to speak to you about the rich cultural heritage of Lebanon. It is a challenging task because though Lebanon is a small nation, its contributions are numerous and remarkable. I cannot help but recognize how amazingly rich Lebanon's cultural legacy is. There is a heritage of creativity that emanates from this small land that can enrich many large countries. I decided to give you a quick idea about the diversity of the Lebanese contributions. So let us take a trip down the highway of culture and highlight a few of these contributions. First in Lebanon, and then around the world. Are you ready? In Lebanon, I will focus on some of the pioneering cultural contributions. The first printing press in the whole Middle East was established in Lebanon. According to historians, a movable printing press was imported from England to St. Antonius Monastery in Qadisha Valley in 1585. In addition, the history of publishing in Lebanon dates back to 1610, when the convent of St. Antonius of Qushaiyya produced its first publication titled the Qushaiyya Bible's Book of Psalms in both Syriac and Arabic. This was the first publication in the Middle East. An-Nahar is one of the early leading Arabic daily newspapers published in Lebanon. An-Nahar was launched in 1933 and was founded by Gibran Twaini. An-Nahar provided a platform for various free thinkers from Lebanon and other Arab countries to express their views during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Charles Glass argues that An-Nahar is Lebanon's equivalent of the New York Times. Women in Lebanon gained the right to vote before other women in Arab countries. Lebanese women gained this important right in 1952. This was the victorious culmination of the decades-long efforts of the Lebanese women's movement to gain equal rights. Women across the Arab countries have also been fighting for their rights to vote. Dates show that Lebanese women were the first to gain that right in 52, followed by Syrian women 53, Egyptian and Tunisian women 56, Jordanian 74, Iraqi 80, Palestinian 1996, Kuwaiti 2005, and Saudi women 2015. Dunya Al-Ahdath is the first Lebanese children's magazine. It was founded in 1954 by Laureen Rihani, an author of children's books. Henry Matthews, an Arab children's magazine scholar, has suggested that Dunya Al-Ahdath was similar to the only other earliest Arabic children's magazine, the Egyptian Sindibad. Dunya Al-Ahdath and Sindibad are pioneering magazines that played a central role in the history of Arab children's literature. The Baalbek International Festival is the oldest and most prestigious cultural event in the Middle East. It is a festival with excellent cultural quality programs performed by great Lebanese, Arab, and international artists inside the Baalbek Roman Acropolis. Since 1955, hundreds of thousands of people from all around the world came to Baalbek to attend this prestigious annual festival. Music, dance, theater, and opera are performed at this festival. Sha'ar was a literary magazine with a special focus on free verse and poetry. The magazine was published by Yusuf Al-Khan in Beirut in 1957. It emerged as a professional avant-garde monthly journal with a core group of young poets dedicated to poetry and poetic studies. Sha'ar advocated for the prose poem as a way to spark cultural change, believing that innovative efforts were necessary to intellectually modernize the Arab world. The first woman president of a university in the Arab world is a Lebanese. In 1965, Dr. Salwa Nassar became the president of the Beirut College for Women, today known as LAU. Dr. Nassar was a Lebanese nuclear physicist. After this quick tour of some of the Lebanese firsts, some pioneering efforts, let me take you on a tour of Lebanese cultural contributions in other countries. I chose Lebanese contributions in 3 countries: Egypt, France, and the USA. In Egypt, the Lebanese were major pillars in the field of media. Salim and Bishara Ta'la, the 2 Lebanese brothers, are the founders of Al-Ahram, the most known Egyptian daily newspaper. They founded it in 1875. It is still today considered the most widely circulating newspaper in Egypt. Al-Muqtataf magazine was an Arabic journal of popular science. It was founded in 1876 by Ya'qub Sarrouf, a Lebanese who studied at AUB. Georgi Zaidan, a journalist from Beirut, migrated to Egypt, where he founded in 1892 Al-Hilal, a cultural and literary Egyptian magazine. Let us move to France. A large number of Lebanese literary figures lived in Paris and contributed to the French literary scene. Among them, George Hadi, Venus Khouri, Amin Ma'louf, Salah Staitiyi, Huda Barakat, and others. I will highlight only one at this time. Amin Ma'louf is a Lebanese author who lives in France. He writes in French, and his works have been translated into over 40 languages. Amin Ma'louf was voted into the Auguste Académie Française in 2011. He is only the fourth member of the French Académie since its establishment in 1634 to be a naturalized French citizen. Also, a plethora of Lebanese artists lived in Paris and contributed to the Parisian artistic scene. Among them, Shafiq Aboud, Saliba Douaihi, Salwa Rawda Shair, Etel Adnan, and others. Many of these artists became internationally known, and some of their paintings are found in the permanent collections of museums across the world, such as the MoMA in New York, the British Museum in London, Surso Museum in Beirut, and the Musée National des Beaux-Arts in Algiers. We cannot speak about the Lebanese cultural contributions in France without highlighting the fact that recently President Macron appointed as Minister of Culture in France the Franco-Lebanese Rima Abdel Malik. Let us look at the US. The literary contributions of the Lebanese in the US are breathtaking. For example, Amir Rihani is the first Lebanese or Arab to write and publish a novel in English. The Book of Khalid was published in New York in 1911. Given this pioneering book and the fact that it is the first literary book in English by an Arab, Amir Rihani has been called the father of Arab American literature. Gibran Khalil Gibran is the first Lebanese or Arab to have a book that has been already translated into over 100 languages. Yes, over 100 languages. Of course, this book is The Prophet, published in New York in 1923. Al-Rabita Al-Qalamiyya was established in New York first in 1916 and for the second time in 1920 by three leading Lebanese Americans, Gibran Khalil Gibran, Amin Rihani, and Mikhail Naimi. Al-Rabita contributed in a radical and transformative way to the renaissance of Arabic literature and thought. Al-Rabita Al-Qalamiyya changed the landscape of Arab thought. If we examine the founding of the United Nations, we notice that during the 1945 San Francisco Conference that established the United Nations, the largest number of delegates were graduates of the American University of Beirut. No other university in the world, not even Harvard, had a larger number of graduates among the delegations of the different nations represented at the conference that established the UN. It is also important to note that one of three major drafters of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a Lebanese. In 1947, a group consisting of Eleanor Roosevelt, former First Lady of the United States, Pen Chun Chang, a Chinese philosopher and human rights activist, and Charles Malik, a Lebanese philosopher and professor, began drafting the International Bill of Human Rights. Later, the Committee of Three was expanded, and it included a few other representatives from other countries. This is just a quick overview of the very large and rich list of cultural contributions by Lebanese men and women within Lebanon and across many countries of the world. If I had more time, our tour across the cultural world highway would have led us to many more fascinating and awe-inspiring Lebanese contributions.
Thank you. Thank you for your insight, Professor Rihani. Now, as the world descends further into chaos and dysfunction, some make it their mission to restore and repair, to break conventional boundaries in order to prevent illnesses, diagnose symptoms, and discover treatments. In 2010, and to honor his contributions to cancer medicine, the St. Luke's Episcopal Hospital in Houston established a cancer research chair in the name of Dr. Philippe Salem. Dr. Salem currently serves as Director Emeritus of Cancer Research at St. Luke's Episcopal Hospital. He's the president of Salem Oncology Center, a world-renowned cancer facility where caring goes beyond medicine. In the early 1990s, Dr. Salem served on a healthcare advisory committee to the White House. He was later awarded the Republican Senatorial Medal of Freedom, as well as the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. He's the author of many editorials on Lebanon and Arab affairs, and while he authored 3 books himself, 11 have been written about Dr. Salem, the scientist, the doctor, and the visionary. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Philippe Salem.
Thank you, Lubna. One of the distinctive features of our Lebanon is its permeating presence in the world and the impact of this presence on world culture and civilization. We have 3 Nobel laureates who are of Lebanese descent. A small little country like Lebanon has produced many luminaries in medicine, and I will start with those who were awarded the Nobel Prize. The first one is Peter Mudawwar, who was awarded the prize in 1960. The second was Ilyas al-Khoury, who was awarded the prize in 1990. And most recently, for the year 2021, a Lebanese Armenian was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology for his work on defining the receptors to detect pressure and temperature. Also, all the mechanisms that monitor equilibrium. His name is Ardem Pataputian, who works at the Scripps Clinic in California. The first Nobel laureate, Peter Mudawwar, got the prize because of his work on the immune system. The function of the immune system is to defend the body against invading microorganisms and invading disease. It took like 60 years after Peter Mudawwar for James Allison, who had the Nobel Prize for his development of immunotherapy. His work was based on the work done by Peter Mudawwar. And now immunotherapy is one of the major tools for the treatment of cancer. The second Nobel laureate, Ilyas al-Khoury, was a professor at Harvard. He got the prize in 1990. His work focused on organic synthesis, and his Nobel Prize was not in medicine, it was in chemistry. He's the one who was the pioneer for organic synthesis. As a result of his work we have now tools and devices that we use in our daily lives that elevate the quality of life available for us now. In addition to the Nobel laureates, we have major stars in medicine. And when we speak of stars, we need to start with Dr. Michael DeBakey. Michael DeBakey was a heart surgeon. He will probably descend in history as the heart surgeon of the century. Michael DeBakey innovated many procedures in heart surgery. He is the father of coronary artery surgery, which is now a routine procedure that helps many patients all over the world and saves thousands of lives. Michael DeBakey was the pioneer for the development of the artificial heart. And he was the pioneer for developing many devices that assisted the heart when the heart failed. Michael DeBakey was a man with a panoramic vision and panoramic knowledge. The world doesn't know that the first article that linked tobacco smoking to lung cancer was written by Dr. DeBakey in 1939. Dr. DeBakey died in July 2010, and I miss him a great deal because he was my great friend. Another star in the world of medicine is a man who was not a doctor, but he probably is the biggest donor to modern medicine. His name is Danny Thomas. He was a comedian, and he was a very poor man. He made a vow to St. Jude that should St. Jude help him make enough money to feed his family, he will build a shrine for St. Jude. And a shrine he did. It is one of the greatest shrines in the world. He established the St. Jude Cancer Center, which is the best and most prestigious cancer center for children in the whole world. And this is not only a gift to America, it is a gift to the whole world. The St. Jude Cancer Hospital was instrumental in the cure of acute leukemia in children. One of its faculty, John Doherty, got the Nobel Prize in 1996. In addition to St. Jude, the Lebanese established hospitals all over the Americas. The two most important hospitals in Latin America are the Lebanese Syrian Hospital in Buenos Aires and the Lebanese Syrian Hospital in Sao Paulo. The most important cancer center in Latin America is located at the Lebanese Syrian Hospital in Sao Paulo. It is difficult to believe how a small country like Lebanon has contributed so much in medicine. When we come to non-medical sciences, there are two stars, Hassan Kamel al-Sabbah and Ramal Hassan Ramal. Both came from South Lebanon. Both were a combination of mathematicians and physicists, and both died at a young age. Al-Sabbah died in a tragic car accident in 1935. He was interested in space science. He made major contributions to space, and only 34 years after his death, a man landed on the moon. He was also interested in saving energy, and he could be called the father of the electric car. He also made major contributions to television and the kind of screens televisions may use. Kamel al-Sabbah lived in America. He did a lot of research at MIT and eventually at the University of Illinois. Hassan Ramal lived in France, and he made major contributions to the science of energy and thermodynamics. He died at the age of 39 in mysterious circumstances, but his legacy continues to survive. One cannot but be proud of the contributions of the Lebanese to the world. And I'm one of those who are extremely proud to be Lebanese. Thank you.
This year's Legacy Pillar event has chosen to recognize two prominent Lebanese whose success stories make Lebanon proud and provide a positive and uplifting image in the midst of the tragedies and challenges that have overshadowed the transformative contributions of many Lebanese. The first awardee will be presented by His Excellency Ambassador Masoud Maalouf, Lebanon's former ambassador to Canada and Chile and former Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of Lebanon in Washington, D.C.
Thanks to the René Mouawad Foundation for organizing this wonderful event. Today, I have the easy task to introduce Dr. Mona Nimr, the world-renowned Lebanese-Canadian scientist and recipient of the René Mouawad Foundation's Legacy Award. But this introduction is at the same time difficult, given Dr. Nimr's career replete with too many achievements to cover in just a few minutes. In reflecting on Dr. Nimr's scientific career, it is evident that she is an excellent role model for all women who are interested in science. From an early age, Dr. Nimr, who was born and raised in Lebanon, was attracted by a desire to discover new drugs to contribute to human health. Although many educational systems, including the Lebanese one, did not encourage young women to study science, at age 14, Dr. Nimr succeeded in having a new science-focused curriculum offered at her school in Lebanon. Dr. Nimr was studying chemistry at the American University of Beirut when the Civil War broke out, which prompted her to leave Lebanon for the United States to complete her undergraduate studies at Wichita State University in Kansas. After being accepted with full scholarship at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, Dr. Nimr happened to take a weekend trip to Montreal with AUB friends, which changed her life. She fell in love with Montreal and applied to McGill University for graduate school. She completed her PhD in bioorganic chemistry at McGill University and postdoctoral training in molecular biology at the Institut de Recherche Clinique de Montréal and Columbia University in the United States. Dr. Nimr was a professor of pharmacology at the University of Montreal, directed the cardiac genetics unit at the Montreal Clinic Research Institute, and was a Tier 1 Canada Research Chair in cardiovascular cell differentiation. When I met Dr. Nimr in Ottawa in 2008, she was a professor and vice president of research at the University of Ottawa and director of the school's Molecular Genetics and Cardiac Regeneration Laboratory. Under her leadership, the University of Ottawa achieved unprecedented research growth. A leader in the field of molecular cardiology, Dr. Nimr has discovered several genes essential for normal heart development and function. Her work has contributed to the development of diagnostic tests for heart failure and the genetics of cardiac birth defects. The importance of Dr. Nimr's scientific career is underscored with the following highlights, which is only a sampling of her vast achievements. Former chair of the France-Canada Research Fund, awarded the Arthur Wynne Gold Medal in 2018 by the Canadian Society for Molecular Biosciences for her major contribution to molecular biosciences in Canada. A member of the Order of Canada, the highest civilian honor in Canada for her extraordinary contribution to the understanding of specific genes related to heart health and for her leadership in the academic research community. An elected fellow of national science academies in Canada, the United States, Argentina, and Lebanon. A Knight of the Ordre National du Québec, a Knight of the Ordre National du Mérite, and the Légion d'honneur of France. Dr. Nimr's current position as the Canadian government's chief science advisor is a testament to her established scientific credentials and the importance the Canadian government places on science in making policy. In 2017, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau appointed Dr. Nimr as Chief Science Advisor, a position that has been vacant since 2008. In announcing the appointment, Prime Minister Trudeau said, and I quote, Dr. Nimr brings a wealth of expertise to the role. Her advice will be invaluable and inform decisions made at the highest levels. I look forward to working with her to promote a culture of scientific excellence in Canada. Unquote. Since 2017, Dr. Nimr has been advising the Prime Minister and ministers on issues of national importance related to science and government policies that support it. She played a key role during the COVID-19 pandemic by collecting, interpreting, and communicating science and science advice to Canadians and decision makers. Dr. Nimr has developed a scientific integrity policy for the management of research, science, and related activities of federal departments in Canada and their 30,000 federal scientists. A native-born Lebanese, Dr. Nimr has never forgotten her roots, her worldwide family, and her Lebanese spirit. We are truly proud of Dr. Nimr. Please welcome her without further ado.
To present the Legacy Pillar Award to Dr. Nimr, please welcome Her Excellency Naila Mawad, former Minister of Social Affairs and former member of the Lebanese Parliament and the founder of the Renee Mawad Foundation.
It is my pleasure and honor to offer you, Dr. Mona Nimr, the first Renee Mawad Legacy Award. Dr. Nimr, this award gains meaning in your hands because you are a role model to every Lebanese girl in Lebanon and in the diaspora, and an inspiration to girls around the world. Propelled by your innovative research, scientific discoveries, leadership, and your role as Chief Science Advisor to Canada's Prime Minister, His Excellency Justin Trudeau, your achievements remind us that despite the difficult times that Lebanon is passing through, its people continue to exercise their capacity to give. What Lebanon did in the past and continues to do today is to send our daughters and sons to all the regions in the world to contribute to the advancement of every community and every country. Your powerful and transformative contributions, Dr. Nimr, make us deeply proud and uplifts our spirit.
Well, thank you very much, Your Excellency, Masoud Malouf, for this very kind introduction. And to you, Your Excellency, Naila Mawad, for presenting me with this magnificent Renee Mawad Foundation Legacy Award. I'm profoundly honored. يعني لو بتسمحوا لي اتشكركم كرمال هالتمييز اللي اعطيتوني اياه وكرمال كل المساعدات اللي عم تعملوها كرمال لبنان واللبنانية بلبنان وبرات لبنان. أنا فخورة بالاشياء اللي فاونديشن عم تعملهم، وفخورة انه يكون اسمي مع الفاونديشن. So let me start by acknowledging the incredible work of the foundation and your many actions to promote peace and social justice in Lebanon. I also wish to salute Mayor Rihanna, the chair of this event, for this fantastic initiative that brings friends together from around the world. I'm proud and humbled to be part of this inaugural celebration. The exceptional Lebanese diaspora is the envy of many, with outstanding individuals in just about every sector, from art and business to health and science. I'm proud to be part of such a vibrant community of people who share a rich cultural heritage, as well as the hope, vision, and enthusiasm for giving back to their country and making the world a better place. Internationally, there is a lot of goodwill for Lebanon and an eagerness to open doors and collaborate across many fields. Organizations such as the RMF are key to creating an enabling environment where Lebanese scientists and scholars can study, work, and prosper while building linkages with the global community. These connections are especially important today when democratic institutions around the world are facing huge challenges, from political instability brought on by ideological polarization, access to basic human necessities, impacts of climate change, and economic uncertainty. Taking on many of these challenges will require global cooperation and partnership. Lebanon must be a contributor to building global solutions and can benefit from their development. Thank you for showcasing how a small country can have an outsized contribution to humanity and for providing hope and inspiration to the new generation. Votre initiative permet de mettre en évidence les contributions exceptionnelles de la diaspora libanaise au progrès de l'humanité. Et votre œuvre au Liban redonne toute la dignité et l'espoir d'un avenir meilleur à tant de personnes. Ainsi, vous aidez à construire des ponts entre les pays et entre les générations, y compris ici au Canada, où la communauté libanaise compte plus de 250 000 personnes et au Liban, où vivent plus de 75 000 Canadiens. Science is everywhere in our lives, and everyone deserves the opportunity to study it and benefit from it wherever they live or come from, and irrespective of their gender. This is why I have always been a champion for women in science. Supporting women and girls in pursuing science careers and leadership opportunities creates an environment for new ideas to flourish and helps to build more progressive and prosperous societies. We've made great progress over the past decades, but much remains to be done. My passion for science was ignited in Lebanon. I'm so grateful for the education and human values that I received there, which have guided me throughout my personal and professional career. As to the hardship of the war, it instilled in me a determination to work hard for a better world. I'm certain that there are many talented young people around the world who, if given the opportunity, can contribute through science, research, or innovation to a brighter future. It is our collective responsibility to help them realize their dream. And it is my sincere hope that countries around the world will increasingly use open science and science advice to inform their public policies. Enhanced transparency and evidence increases public trust in governments and institutions. I have personally benefited from the love and support of so many people, family, friends, students, colleagues, mentors, and co-workers who inspired, guided, or helped me along the way. This legacy award pays tribute to what I have been able to achieve. Shukran. Merci beaucoup. Thank you for this honor.
Dr. Lubna Hassaniyi, whom you've already met, will now introduce our second awardee for today, Dr. Francois Nader.
Thank you, Sarah. Dr. Francois Nader is a life sciences value builder, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. His career journey started in Lebanon, where he earned his doctorate in medicine from the Saint-Joseph Faculté Française de Médecine. His journey then took him to France, where he led the Pasteur Institute International Division and the launch of the first hepatitis B vaccine worldwide. Years later, Dr. Nader and his family relocated to the US, where he became the first head of US medical affairs for a large American pharmaceutical company. All along, Dr. Nader followed a career path that is both challenging and stimulating. It guided him from the realm of medical and regulatory affairs to venture capital, to becoming CEO of a biotechnology company, and more recently, chairman of the board of 3 biotechnology companies and board director of Moderna. Throughout his journey, Dr. Nader has contributed to the development of 22 medicines, ranging from the treatment of heart disease to osteoporosis, allergy, and cancer. Most recently, he was involved in the development of the Moderna COVID vaccine as member of the Moderna's COVID committee. Dr. Nader is the recipient of the Lebanese National Order of Merit. He also received the Ernst & Young U.S. Life Science Entrepreneur of the Year Award for his leadership in rare diseases, where he directed the unprecedented development of 2 medicines for rare diseases. Dr. Nader is also the recipient of the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, presented to those who have shown outstanding commitment to serving the United States professionally, culturally, or civically. Dr. Nader and his wife, Micheline, are active philanthropists focusing their mission on education and health through their family's Jasra Foundation. Most recently, they contributed to sending shipments of medications to Lebanon, delivering cancer drugs to the Lebanese army and to several hospitals, including LAU and AUB. Dr. Francois Nader, thank you for your contributions to science and medicine and for echoing the heartbeat of Lebanon in the US and around the world. Congratulations.
It is my pleasure and honor to offer you, Dr. Francois Nader, the René Mouawad Legacy Award. Dr. Nader, this award is in recognition of your vital contributions in the biopharma industry. Your work in making pharma companies focus on delivering innovative therapies to patients with rare diseases make all the Lebanese proud. Due to individuals like you, Lebanon continues to be a beacon of medical contributions that serve humanity as a whole.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mrs. Mouawad, for this amazing award. Thank you, Dr. Jabra, for your leadership. And thank you, Dr. Hassani, for your very kind introduction. It is truly an honor for me to receive this award and share it with Dr. Mona Nimr, especially in the presence of Dr. Salim, who is truly a legend in the medical field. When I reflect on success, and more specifically the success of the Lebanese people at home and abroad, 3 words come to mind: adaptability, resilience, and ingenuity. These are certainly, at least in my opinion, the hallmark of what makes the Lebanese people so successful: an amazing ability to adapt to exceptional and unprecedented situations, an unmatched resilience to manage difficult and challenging life experiences, and ingenuity, or the ability to create lemonade out of lemons. But exactly because of these amazing traits, we ought to make sure that we continue to fight complacency that could be a terrible unintended consequence. But also, the notion of success, at least for me, has evolved from success in a transactional way in terms of position, title, possessions, to success that is certainly more fulfilling, more meaningful, as it focuses on contribution. And this is probably the most important common denominator that assemble us here today. The Renee Mawad Foundation has made so many contributions in so many different ways to the Lebanese people. And I would like to thank you for that in the name of the people that you are helping every single day. Thank you very much.
We come now to the conclusion of today's program. With us today to give the closing remarks of this inaugural legacy event is Dr. Joe Jabra, who formerly served as the president of LAU and is currently the chairman of the board of RMFUSA.
Well, certainly the best gift in life is the gift of giving selflessly. And with joy and pride, we gather virtually across the globe in order to celebrate and honor the admirable achievements of both Dr. Nader and Dr. Nimr. Dear friends, the reason why we established this particular program, the Legacy Program, is to remind the world and remind ourselves, lest we forget that we Lebanese, no matter what the challenges, have contributed and we shall continue to contribute to the advancement of civilization in all human endeavor. By establishing this legacy program, we wanted to make sure to counter, if not to erase altogether, all the shameless images that are propagated throughout the world of a divided, hungry, and rudderless Lebanon. We wanted the world to know that we Lebanese, we shall never give up. We shall never despair, because it is not in our blood to do so. It is not in our genes to do so. By committing to this particular program, and because of our really profound commitment, even passionate commitment to our heritage, we are convinced, we are confident that the Lebanese phoenix will rise from the ashes and return to Lebanon, its unity, its dignity, and its pride. On behalf of the Renee Mawad Foundation in the United States, I congratulate from the bottom of my heart our awardees again, and I'd like to extend our gratitude to all those participants in and organizers of this unique program from Lebanon, from Canada, from the United States, and in particular, the indefatigable Mary Hani, who spearheaded this program and brought it to its successful completion. Stay tuned to more exciting programs in the future. We thank you for attending today. We see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you and God bless.